Good evening, everyone. In honor of Saint Germain, we have come together to enter into the heart of the One. This is a glorious opportunity for us to give gratitude to not only Saint Germain, for all he has done for the sons and daughters of God upon earth, in forging a pathway into the golden age that we are to bring forth, but for our own pathway to the ascension. As we prepare for the coming conference, when our attention is upon the perfect love and what is required of each of us in our day-to-day life to fulfill the necessities, the responsibilities, we must remember, and we are certainly charged by his presence tonight, that it is God gratitude that allows us to ultimately be God victorious in achieving that which our mighty I Am presence desires, and that which the ascended masters have brought forth as that perfect pathway etched in the fiery heart of our own God presence for each one. Thank you for coming and giving honor to this Son of God that has done so much and will continue to be that rock that we can count on throughout the ages. May we have our musical meditation, please, as you place your attention upon the heart of your mighty I Am presence and the heart of beloved Saint Germain. Dear ones of my heart, I stand in your midst this day, wherever you may be. Know that I, Saint Germain, stand beside you during my address. For it is the dispensation of the act which you have willingly engaged, of petitioning my heart as a torchbearer of the temple, to have my gaze and my attention directly involved in your life, where the tie heart to heart is never lost, and that you can be assured that where possible, I will indeed set aside those involvements of struggle, returning karma, and any manner of lack presented in your life, as long as you are maintaining the honor to your God presence, the call to the violet flame, and the honor and respect that you are to afford your own God presence in the affairs of your life. For is this not a prerequisite of being a torchbearer of the temple? There are those that would stand on the side and think that, oh, it is only another so-called organization. It is only another fellowship. And who needs another fellowship to belong to. But I tell you, those who have had the tie with my heart throughout the ages know that I am steadfast in my allegiance, that I hold high my commitment to the hearts that trust and have faith in the fact that I will be there in the dark of the night, whenever there is travail, when troubles might arise. But as it is always known, it requires both hearts to be engaged. It is not enough for merely my heart to desire to have you tethered to the heart of your God presence. It is not merely enough for you to have the desire to have my heart tethered to yours. There are vows and commitments that must be kept by both parties for there to be an agreement to enter into this fellowship with one another. I have kept my part. I have stood in the great hall of the great central sun. I have petitioned the lords of karma to release dispensation after dispensation for the sons and daughters of God, and yes, for the torchbearers of the temple. I have come to your assistance with a release of violet flame, sufficient to clear all debris from your consciousness. I have enacted the love of my heart to embrace you, to comfort you, to assist you when there are those times that you know not which way to turn. I merely ask of you to keep the watch, to hold fast to the heart flame of your own God presence, to understand that your first allegiance is to the mighty I Am, and that you have no other gods before the I Am, that I Am. That you understand that to enter into a relationship with the heart of Saint Germain requires that you enter into a relationship with my messengers, that you do not speak ill of your brothers and sisters on the path, but that you hold them in the high esteem of the office of their Christhood, that you have the ability to see through the travails of their own maya and illusion that perhaps they temporarily go through, and that you keep the watch with your brothers and sisters when there is a need to hold the balance for returning karma, to clear away debris by the violet flame that might otherwise create such a burden that they drowned beneath the returning wave, that you have the understanding and the comfort to assist. Is this too much to ask? Throughout the ages, every fellowship of the brotherhood of the ascended masters in the physical octave has been called upon to perform those acts of kindness, consideration, honor, and respect that go beyond what those of humanity are able to engender. For you understand the office of Christhood. You know what is required to have the heart engaged, the sacrifice, the wisdom, and yes, preparing the way for the will of God. Likewise, you afford your brothers and sisters their opportunity to be God victorious in all things that are presented to them by their God presence, by their ascended master sponsors, by the holy angels that tend to the flame upon the altar of their heart. You afford them the grace and opportunity to win their victory. All the while, holding the balance with your calls, with your prayers, with your even silent assistance where necessary, knowing that at some point you have either been assisted or you will be assisted by that very one. You see, blessed hearts, for a fellowship to be engaged, it takes two to participate. Surely you are aware that I honor the flame of God that burns upon the altar of your heart, that I see beyond the foibles of your human creation, that I understand the path that you walk and are engaged in this incarnate life, gaining your mastery, gaining attainment over these planes of consciousness known as the physical octave. I treasure your life stream, for I depend upon the very presence of you to facilitate our mission, that you and I are engaged, the mission of expanding the teachings of the ascended masters, both by example and by the release of the teaching through your vehicles of expression. There are many areas in which each one of you are called upon to serve. I understand how difficult it may seem on occasion for you to transmute all your karma, This is why I have petitioned the karmic board to expand and multiply each of your calls so that you can have the maximum of opportunity that can be garnered to establish your Christhood, to stand as the example of one who understands and practices the science of the spoken word and is able to accelerate their vibration, not merely to lord over those of humanity, to be singled out as one that is simply a special or extraordinary person. No, beloved, so that you might set the example for others to follow, leaving, as you take your ascension, a burst of light, a history of your life stream that tells the tale of one who has entered into the oneness of the light of God, has expanded that light, has treasured that light, and has moved into the oneness of their God presence for eternity. O blessed hearts, it is with great gratitude that I, Saint Germain, bow to the flame upon the altar of your heart, and I extend my heart to you, so that you might know that there is one Son of God that will not leave your side, save you ask. That there is one that you can count on at any time. There is one that will petition the lords of karma at every turn. And there is one that will stand in the Holy of Holies with you and proclaim your victory. When you understand the law of the one, you will also understand that where I am, there is the entire spirit of the Brotherhood of Light. Where there is an ascended and cosmic being, you can count on the whole of the fabric of God to respond to your every need, to your every petition. In due time, all are answered. What remains is what will you do when those petitions are answered, when those calls are satisfied? Will you be up to the task of holding the light sufficient to transfer into those areas of life required to be changed, to be altered, to be transmuted? Perhaps you have not considered that your God presence desires to give you more light, just as I, Saint Germain, desire to give you more of the expansion of my heart flame. But because you have not yet attained to the disciplines required to hold that much light, that much love, your own God presence mitigates what is lowered into these outer vehicles. Certainly your own God presence is able to expand the flame upon the altar of the heart in the ascended octaves, sufficient to all need and all love. But when it comes to the threefold flame that resides closer to you, are you able to release that light and that love through the thought and feeling world, through the physical body of your being? This is what the training is all about, is it not? So that you can expand that light, so that you can accelerate the vibration to be more of who you think that you are in this physical octave, more of what you are to accomplish in this physical octave, to express and desire more than your own heart, your own mind, and your own emotional body are able to conjure and think, as the thought, the energy, and the physical actions in these outer vehicles you wear. Far too many desire, but know not how to discipline these bodies. And this is what the teachings of the Ascended Masters is all about. This is why you are called to the feet of the Masters, to hear from on high in the ascended octaves the pure teaching, the truth of the law, the fire, and yes, blessed hearts, the vibration of the Ascended Master octave. For this is the octave that you desire to enter to. And you do this by expanding the love of your heart, by garnering the wisdom and fulfilling the will of God. The more you are able to engage in the fellowship of light, life, and love of your God presence, the more quickly will you see the results. Those results, blessed hearts, come forth as attainment, as mastery, as the ability to perform more of your Christhood through the virtues of the Christ, to establish more of the light of your own God presence, and yes, the angelic kingdom and ascended and cosmic beings through your vehicles of expression, so that you might have a greater opportunity to fulfill your divine plan, and to see that the mission of the Ascended Masters is carried off in a timely fashion, in accordance with the karmic board and the blueprint and pattern established by the cosmic councils. I have described all this to you in this intimate setting so that we together might agree that the golden age will come, that you will fulfill your fiery destiny, and you will ascend. We agree together that the fullness of the light of God will be anchored in the earth, that these teachings of cosmic law will be available for all sons and daughters of God to partake, that through the calls that we together make, there will be a rolling back of all negativity that would stand to oppose the light of the Christ coming forth. That we together will determine that the earth will be free. This is why we have a fellowship. This is why you are a torchbearer of the temple, so that we together might agree upon the high and holy calling of which you have come forth into incarnation, and of which I, Saint Germain, have laid out as a blueprint for the next 2,000-year cycle. We together, in the heart. Blessed ones, I began by tracing for you the importance of the honor and respect that is required of your life stream for one another, of my mission and my messengers. You have indeed committed your life stream to upholding that commitment of honor. Know well that I, Saint Germain, will not fail to support all that you are called upon to fulfill, if it is within the will of your presence, and you are fulfilling every necessity of the law. Understand that for the requirements of the law to be satisfied, it requires that you maintain the outer disciplines, not only of engaging in the violet flame and the calling forth of the light of your own God presence into your midst to transmute your returning karma, to clear the way of old debris that might be sewn into the folds of your garment as negativity, of misconception, or any form of maya and illusion. But you are likewise called upon to engage in the fullness of gratitude to your own God presence for the opportunity to breathe, to have the beating heart in your breast, to have the flame burning brightly upon the altar of your heart, to have the knowledge imparted to you of the teachings of the ascended masters, to have in your midst the anointed messengers, and to have a brother of heaven in my heart flame to stand beside you. This gratitude of which I speak binds us together as sure as any vow and commitment has ever sown. I hold it most sincerely as the love of my heart for the love of God within you. I, Saint Germain, expand that love of my heart on this day in a greater portion of that love that can be shared with each one who has engaged in the fellowship as a torchbearer of the temple. You are protected. You are loved. And you are in my heart.